action.
Poor Priestley. His words have brought terror to his life. His meeting house burned, his life threatened, and now his home and library are cinders too. I fear his words have riled the monarchy and its supporters. I ultimately suspect that he will end up in the New World with his friends Franklin and Jefferson, where there is a home for dissent. Well, the American and the French revolutions are a testament to his view.
Yes. Civic authority must be a trust from the people. The governing power in every nation ought not to be the will of any one man or class of men, pretending to hereditary rights. It is the needs of the general mass and their priorities that should awaken and set forth the priorities of any governing body.
The door. Shall I see who it is, Doctor?
Oh, thank you. Very kind.
It's Johnson.
The Reverend Dr. Price. What a comfort to see you. It's been too long.
Johnson.
You've not come out lately. I hope you're feeling better.
Oh, well, the tinctures and cups are making my doctor feel better anyway.
Sir.
However, for myself, the sight of you all around this table is balm enough for me. No, things will carry on, leeches or no leeches.
I sense a note of fatalistic rancor in your tone, which needs appeasing, perhaps.
Well, you'll take a tipple then. That will appease me, surely. Thank you. Have you spoken to Mary? You know, I'm very concerned about that girl since she left the Green.
It's difficult. Mm-hmm. Her writing for the review has been going well. And the distribution of Vindication of the Rights of Men is enormously popular. But it's not enough.
I may have an idea for her. I hope she's on her way. She is very lucky to have you as her publisher and friend, Johnson. Perhaps she often does not realize her own good fortune.
A relative term. How have you been after receiving the threatening letters you've received? As if we all haven't been threatened enough. The door, Doctor. Shall I attend to it?
Well, now, that would be very kind.
Good evening, Mr. Creswick. He is here. Feeling pessimistic, madam?
Not this fine evening. Full of wonder. I think I'll give up Mr. Creswick, my nom de plume, in favour of Mary Wollstonecraft, my real name. Newington Green is such a fiction for me, now that I'm no longer here. But you are real, Dr. Price, thank goodness.
Yes.
And today, the pages of the Green are opened, animated, and are bursting with life. I saw a small fox and a bluebird and a whole host of happy critters. All different from one another, but optimistic as any gang. They reminded me of us. And similarly to you, they all, perhaps as they would regard a small mole who wandered just beneath the surface of their terrain, they all couldn't be more oblivious to the preambulations in my head. Well, I find this amusing, since what goes on in my head and heart are integral and a dominant force for me. But I do think the wick of humankind is burning brighter every day. And if it weren't, we would have to tell ourselves it was, to carry on. People need only consult with their deepest reason, where it tangles with the heart but is not ensnared, to find enough energy to proceed and to keep moored up the otherwise wild and often plaguing forces of everyday life, and to make of their lives a use far greater in uniqueness than any moulded from conformity.
Bravo, Mary. Truly, bravo.
Godwin, do I have the pleasure of introducing you for the first time to Mary Wollstonecraft?
Pleasure is mine. I was just listening to the fine Mr. Payne. His words are very informative.
Your reputation for acuity precedes you, sir.
Does it? Payne was just speaking of Burke's plans for destroying the reputation of those dissenters.
Burke is a despot in the making. Could he weep when he saw heads roll in the squares of Paris? Could he weep when he saw women and men in their hundreds reaching out for bread? No. But I am weeping. His tears are reserved for the downfall of queens and kings, whose rank throws a graceful veil over vices which degrade humanity.
What do you think, Tom? Has he the clout?
When the revolution broke, it certainly afforded Mr. Burke the opportunity of doing some good, had he been disposed to it. Well, instead of which he no sooner saw the old prejudices wearing away than he immediately began sowing the seeds of a new inveteracy, as if he was afraid that England and France would cease to be enemies.
I'm pleased my pamphlet inspired you, Mr. Payne, to write The Rights of Men.
You inspired him. Please, Miss Payne, carry on.
No, it's all right, William. She's right. Her vindication of the rights of men did inspire me, along with Burke's dangerous opinions of you, Dr. Price.
Quite right. Have any of you heard of a habitation for me? Your sex generally laugh at female determinations, but let me tell you, I have never yet resolved to do anything of consequence that I did not adhere to it. In my near 29 years, I have gathered some experience and suffered many severe disappointments. And what is the amount? I long for a little peace and independence. Do not forget, I am indebted by familial love to look after my sisters, who have not the organisation of mind, nor the fortitude, nor the opportunity to make their own way. And every obligation to these people is a new shackle, which takes from me my native freedom and debases my mind.
But to be frank, Tom, I'd love to hear the end of your thought.
Yes, where were we here? Well, when men cultivate prejudices against nations, that is truly unpardonable. But Mary, did you hear Talleyrand has proposed recently to end girls' education at school and to allow boys to continue to university?
Talleyrand, but he's for the revolution.
Well, he advocates the release of men from the tyranny of monarchy, but as far as women go, he would prefer to see them as slaves of men rather than set them free. Perhaps in this, Mary, there is your next address. The vindication of the rights of woman.
If a man has a tolerable level of understanding and intelligence, just tolerable, nothing extraordinary, mind you, then he has a chance to have it cultivated. But women aren't expected to be educated and have few modes to earn a subsistence, and those they do have are humiliating.
But do you not also believe that a superior mind, such as yours, can overcome physical and emotional constraints?
Can a man break the chains on his wrist when he's tied at the stake by metal? Can he become a doctor when he works 20 hours a day in a plantation, when his own body is not his own property?
No one is sure these days of who is truly free. The French National Assembly and the new United Colonies will help us define these terms.